Oh my god, it's here. It's here, and I'm a little bit concerned, guys, because this is a 34-minute read. We've not just got one kit, we've got the whole caboozle. I think we've got work to do. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen of the Holotables, and how are we all doing today? I hope we are doing groovy, I hope we are doing fantastic, and I hope we are feeling better than the average bear. So, what is the plan? The plan today is for us to read all of these kits. So you can see we've got our boy Luke over here, looking a little bit short for a Stormtrooper, but that's okay. We are trying a new format for kit reveals and how information is provided to you. Please comment below with what you think of the new format. Thank you. Artwork will be added for kits as they are approved. Looks like we're getting no meathead super art today, just the Luke. Okay, so he is a light side support leader and a rebel, releasing first in the era of the anniversary as Stormtrooper Luke. We wanted to pay homage to some of the characters we launched 10 years ago, and Stormtrooper Luke seemed like an obvious counterpart to Stormtrooper Han. Wild. Our squad vision for this unit, after the era concludes, includes legacy character Stormtrooper Han, Princess Leia, R2-D2 and Old Ben Kenobi. The kernel of the squad and 3v3 Grand Arena team will be Luke, Han and Princess Leia. In situations where a full 5-person team will be used, the additional of R2-D2 and Old Ben Kenobi should round out the team. So this is obviously an early game team. Late game, obviously you're not going to pull R2-D2 from the likes of a galactic legend Leia Organa. Stormtrooper Luke's era marquee begins November 18th, which is when Relic Delta goes to the game. So his basic TK-421. Pew 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 pew. Nice wide horse riding stance he's got there, hell yes. Deal special damage, oh he's a special damage character, to the target enemy. If it's his turn, inflict the target enemy with buff disruption. That's a new one. Buff Disruption. How's that different from Buff Immunity? It has a high damage variance. Immune to buffs until damaged by an attack. Once damaged by an attack, lose 100% turn meter. Interesting. It's kind of like a cross between Buff Immunity and Stagger. That's kind of cool. I'll take it. Design notes. Buff Disruption is a new debuff that has interesting gameplay surrounding it. It's kind of like a fragile Buff Immunity plus... That's exactly what I just said. Where it breaks on any damage being applied. To add some gameplay and decision space around the debuff, a stagger-like effect after losing all of their turn meter happens if you decide to break the buff immunity with damage. Inspiration TK-421 refers to the operating number of the Stormtrooper whose armor Luke dons as a disguise. Why does this attack have high damage variance? Stormtroopers and Stormtrooper Han both have this drawback on their basic ability, so it's just a thematic thing. Okay, special one, short for a Stormtrooper. They had to have this. And he's like, I'm here to rescue you. What does this do then? Dispel all buffs on all enemies, rally all rebel allies, and they gain tenacity up for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Grant target other ally a bonus turn, and if that target ally is Princess Leia, she gains 30% offense and ignores taunt effect during that turn. That's not too bad. If Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han are allies, their chance effects are increased to 100% for 2 turns. I'm guessing that's to do with the attacking again on Leia. Okay. Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han are vintage characters whose kits need a bit of modernization to make them workable. In addition to a buff dispel on the enemy, we add Rally from Resistance Hero Finn, handing out bonuses based on their role. Finally, Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han have a couple of abilities that only have a chance at working, and that is impossible to rely on when attempting to make an informed decision in the heat of combat, in the heat of the moment. So this helps mitigate their guarantees. That by guarantee those effects go off. Synergy, obvious callouts to Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han, and buffing their chance to mechanics. Alright. Is there an indication that Han and Leia's chance effects are guaranteed? Yes, the blue icon will... Okay, cool. So they'll get a blue icon, you're guaranteed those effects. Next up, where could he be? Speaking into the microphone, it's a little bit of karaoke action coming from Luke over here. Rocking the mic. Inflict vulnerable on all enemies for 1 turn, which guarantees critical hits. Rebel attacker allies gain offense up for 2 turns, and non-tank rebel allies gain stealth for 1 turn. So that kind of helps with Princess Leia to get her under stealth, so that when she uses a stealth, she's going to gain all her turn meter. Call all rebel allies to assist, dealing 10% more damage for each stealthed ally. Cool. Design notes. An all-call ability getting the whole squad to attack is always fun. Yes. Princess Leia obviously wants that stealth. Yes, she does. And when everyone else is stealthed, your tanks don't need to worry about taunting. They are the only legal targets anyway. Pretty much true. There are very few exceptions to characters that can ignore stealth. When the trash compactor was about to crush our heroes, Luke tried to contact C-3PO on the comlink, only for 3PO not to answer. Alright. Does he assist himself? Yes. All assist that includes himself. That's good. Do I have any control over Luke's buff disruption? Does Luke go last in assisting? Because of the way our slot ordering works, Luke, who will likely be within the leader slot, will almost certainly attack a split second before the rest of the squad, causing buff disruption to immediately be consumed, removing their turn meter. Makes sense. And he's got a unique, something just moved past my leg. I thank you. It's the monster in the trash compactor, right? At the start of battle, Stormtrooper Luke gains 10 speed. If Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han are allies, Stormtrooper Luke gains 30 speed until the end of battle instead. At the start of the encounter, all Rebel tank allies taunt for 1 turn, and all other Rebel allies stealth for 1 turn. Whenever a Rebel ally stealths, all other Rebel tank allies taunt for 1 turn. Oh, yeah. Han is going to be irritating, dude. He's always going to be taunting. Whenever a Rebel ally gains bonus turn meter while below 100% turn meter, they gain protection up 10%, stacking to a maximum of 50% for 2 turns. So we know Leia was going to gain turn meter, right? When she stealths herself while she's stealth, so extra bonus protection. I believe Han gains turn meter as well, so he'll be gaining bonus prop. Alright, okay, protection up. Whenever a Rebel ally scores a critical hit, they recover 10% health and protection. That's nice. That's nice, because Leia shoots a lot, so multiple hits, especially with her Omicron, I believe. Lots of health and protection recovery. Some more help on the venerable Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han. Additionally, Han, or any Rebel tank for that matter, gets a pre-taunt. Pre-taunts are super useful, while everyone else gets stealth. Rebel tanks get a reaction taunt, which really help keep the rest of the squad from being targeted. Yes, using Special 2 as your opener will take advantage of this ability, nearly fully stealth your Rebel team. Well, yep. Leader, the Brains, Zeta and Omicron. At the start of battle, Rebel allies gain 10% crit chance, crit damage, defense, max health and max protection. Quite a bit of bulk then. Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han are present. These increases are tripled. Not too bad, 30% increase to those stats is pretty decent. Whilst a Rebel ally has more than 50% health, they have 100% defense. That's good. And whenever they use an ability on their turn, they expose the target enemy for 1 turn. Whilst a Rebel ally has less than 50% health, they have 50% offense. Pretty good. While a Rebel ally is stealthed, they have 20% defense penetration. If stealth or taunt is dispelled from a Rebel ally, they gain defense up and foresight for 1 turn. Okay, cool. So defense pen on Leia, she's always going to be stealth, is pretty good. If these are dispelled, they gain defense up and foresight, keeps them alive. If a Rebel ally removes turn meter from an enemy, I think Stormtrooper Han can do that. Distract that enemy for 1 turn, so they can't gain bonus turn meter. Okay. While in 3v3 Grand Arenas, there is an allied Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, and no Galactic Legends, whenever stealth is dispelled from a Rebel ally, reduce the cooldowns of their abilities by 1. Okay. While stealth, and this account, dispelled probably counts when it expires as well. While stealth, Princess Leia ignores that target's enemy's protection, whilst that's huge. Princess Leia attacking under protection is actually significant, because she's going to do multiple hits, she's going to be gaining extra defense penetration, she's going to be gaining potentially extra offense, and she's gaining, what is it from his leadership, 30% crit chance, crit damage, defense, max health, max protection. She's going to hurt. She's going to hurt. That's really good. Whenever a Rebel ally scores a critical hit against an enemy, that enemy loses 10% turn meter, okay? Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Distract, they're also inflicted with Ability Block for 1 turn. Whenever a Rebel ally is dazed or stunned, dispel that effect, distract and inflict protection disruption for 1 turn on the enemy, which can't be evaded or resisted. Nice. This is really long, guys. Princess Leia and Stormtrooper Han have the chance effects increased to 100% until the end of battle, so they're always going to do it. Okay. While Stormtrooper Luke is active, he gains 15% evasion, increased by 5% up to a maximum of 50 each time a Rebel ally attacks out of turn, and Leia attacks all the time out of turn. 50% evasion is going to be gross. Tank allies gain 100% defense, increased by 5%, up to 450%. Each time, oh my god, okay. So I was reading through this kit and I was like, it seems okay, nothing great. But with that Omicron, the power level is drastically improved. Attacker allies gain 15% crit damage and offense increased by 1% up to a maximum of 135% each time they crit. Whilst another ally has protection, Stormtrooper Luke can't be defeated. Oh my lord. Yeah, okay, the Omicron, like, this whole kit, it's kind of mid, I feel, until you get to the Omicron. And then the Omicron feels insane. We're bringing a modified version of Distract out the speeder bike raid into the character abilities with this unit. Additionally, losing Taunt or Stealth due to an enemy dispel is usually a death sentence, but getting a free foresight out of it helps remove some of the sting. Yeah. Yep, definitely a powerhouse in GAC. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so it looks like that's the end of the artwork that we've got. IG-90 then. This one is the buff that we're getting for Dr. Aphra. Support, Bounty Hunter, Droid, and Scoundrel. I thought he was going to be a tank. I guess he might taunt anyway. Our second marquee from the era of the anniversary, IG-90, was chosen not just because Galaxy of Heroes launched with 3 different model of IG droids, 86, 88, and 100. Totally forgot about IG-100. But because Dr. Aphra could use a hand with some support that worked over time to boost the effectiveness of a hacked commando droid and giving the team some much needed tank-like survivability. Plus he's red! That's why you probably didn't recognize him. Upon conclusion of the era, IG-90 is perfectly suited to slot into Dr. Aphra's squad alongside BT-1, 000. Add in HK-47 for a deadly droid squad any rogue archaeologist would be proud to lead. HK-47, he has been left to ruin, basically. Alright, so, basic ability, statement, point delivered. Deal physical damage twice to the target enemy and inflict them with defense down for a turn. If the leader in the ally slot is Dr. Aphra, grant and trigger 2 stacks of heal over time on all allies for 1 turn, and inflict 2 stacks of damage over times on the target enemy for 1 turn. If the hacked commando droid is live, it taunts for 1 turn. Oh, okay. Not sure on this. Aphra needs a pre-taunt. So unless he summons it straight away, I'm a little bit concerned. Adding in hots and dots on basics is powerful on its own, but coupling it with hacked commando droid nearly constantly taunting makes it stand out. Obviously, Aphra and a hacked commando droid are called out specifically. Statement. I have made my point, Bosk. In the comic Darth Vader, issue number 7 to be exact, which features Aphra. Alright. Devastating Barrage, cooldown of 3. Deal physical damage to all enemies and trigger all stacks of dots on all enemies and mark the target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. If the ally in the leader slot is Aphra, call all other dark side droid allies to assist, and all allies recover 20% health and protection, gain offense up for 2 turns, and IG-90 gains 40% defense, and hack commander droid taunts for 2 turns. That's a pretty powerful special. An AoE triggers all dots, mass assist, marks, heals, and boosts your defense, and causes a taunt. Wild. Triggering all dots is a very powerful ability, especially with his basic handing out dots like they're going out of style. Marking the target can also help Aphra's team circumvent enemy taunts in the right situations. Darkside droids, like these guys, will get assists if Aphra is the leader. Hacked Commando droid gets 2 turns of taunting from this ability, keeping him tanking for the team. If forced to put marked out to the already taunting enemy, IG-90's unique ability will still bring some goodness, with a member of the squad gaining offense and healing back some health. Alright. Unique ability, query, dead or alive? Zeta and Omnomicron. At the start of battle, IG-90 has a 100% counter chance. Whenever IG-90 is damaged, he inflicts speed down on a random enemy. That's kind of like the ghost, right? And all Scoundrel allies recover 5% health and protection. If the ally in the leader slot is Dr. Aphra. At the start of battle, all allies gain 100% bonus protection. And Aphra stealths for 2 turns. That's handy. That's really handy, so you can't focus her down right out the gate. That's handy, actually. Whenever an ally critically hits an enemy, they gain speed up for 2 turns. Whenever IG-90 resists a debuff, Aphra gains 5 stacks of Siphon. Ooh, so maybe Tenacity will be good on this guy. At the start of battle, droid allies have 50% crit avoidance. That's also nice. At the start of each encounter, if Aphra has less than 50 stacks of Siphon, she gains 200% defense. It helps Aphra survive the initial. Whenever IG-90 recovers health, inflict 3 stacks of dots on the healthiest enemy for 1 turn. Okay. Whenever a hacked commando droid taunts, he gains 100% bonus protection until taunt expires. He is becoming tanky. Whenever a marked enemy is damaged, all scoundrel allies and hacked commando droid gain 5% offense. Oh, wow. Okay, this is starting to get nutty now, guys. And it's a territory war Omicron. Whenever IG-90 uses a special ability, Dr. Aphra has 200 or more stacks of Siphon, IG-90 and Aphra recover 40% health and protection and gain 30% offense stacking for the rest of the encounter. With no cap. Wow, okay. Whenever an enemy is defeated, the weakest enemy gains damage immunity for 1 turn. Whenever IG-90 is defeated, refresh the cooldown on Aphra's abilities by 1. Okay. But still, we're getting damage immunity when we ever defeat an enemy. Whenever an ally critically hits an enemy, dispel all buffs on the target enemy. At the start of battle, Scoundrel allies gain crit chance up and crit damage up for 2 turns, and Bounty Hunter allies gain speed up and accuracy up for 2 turns. Bounty Hunter allies? Bounty Hunter allies? Is he also a Bounty Hunter? He is a Bounty Hunter. Alright. So he's going to gain speed up and accuracy up for 2 turns. Whenever Dr. Aphra has more than 50 stacks of Siphon, all allies ignore taunt effects. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful one. He has a leadership ability as well. That's interesting. Start of battle, all dark side droids and dark side bounty hunter allies gain 30% crit chance and crit damage. All scoundrel allies gain 20% offense and 20% tenacity until the end of battle. When IG-90 is in the leader slot and not the ally slot, the following contract is active. Inflict 20 debuffs on enemies and pay out 5% offense and deal bonus true damage. That's quite cool. Whenever he gains his payout is him and the hacked commando droid gain 40% defense and the hacked commando droid taunts for 2 turns, then grants 50 Siphon to Dr. Aphra until the end of the encounter. Nifty. If only there was a way to... You're not going to have him in the leadership, so can he get that payout even when he's with Aphra? And they do say that he's going to go into the Aphra lead. The payout effects are designed to benefit Dr. Aphra, yeah. Dr. Aphra's not a bounty hunter. How did he get his payout? Yeah. Oh, when she gains 50 Siphon, he gets it. Okay. Fine. Okay, yeah, there we go. It says when he receives the rewards from the contract or another scoundrel another scoundrel ally in the leader slot gains 50 Siphon. So as soon as she gains 50 Siphon, which happens super quick, his payout will trigger. He's going to gain a bunch of defense and stuff. That's cool. So I'm a little bit worried that there's no pre-taunt, because generally speaking with Aphra, you always start off with the cooldown increase. The fact that she's stealthed and gains all that defense at the start should help alleviate that, because I don't think you're going to want to summon the commando droid first thing. So you have to wait until her second turn. It could still be okay though. Next up is Inquisitor Barriss, healer, leader, Empire, Inquisitor, unaligned force user. Alright, the penultimate character releasing in the era of is the dark side version of Barriss Offee, Inquisitor Barriss. This version of the character references a story arc in the animated Tales of the Empire series. In this story, she is released from prison, which has been ever since her heel turn in the Clone Wars animated series, in order to serve under Darth Vader and the Grand Inquisitor as their newest Inquisitor sister. Alright, basic, Enfeebling Strike. Deal special damage to the target enemy and inflict them with a stack of Purge until the end of the encounter. Unaligned Force user allies recover 5% health and protection. Gain 5 Siphon, which can't be dispelled. Ooh, what's she going to be siphoning? Purge and Siphon. Being an Inquisitor, she has to have Purge, but it would have made an irresistible one, but it being resistible is a nice synergy with Special too. On top of that, we wanted her to siphon crit damage from her enemies. We have put her Siphon stacks in her basic since it combines her out of a turn attacks. Okay. Force Corruptor, special 1, cooldown of 3. Dispel all buffs and deal special damage to all enemies. Inflict buff immunity for 2 turns on the target enemy and siphon crit damage for them. Okay, so AoE, buff dispel, puts buff immunity for 2 turns, and the targeted person you siphon crit damage from. If the target had 6 stacks of Purge, buff immunity can't be resisted, and lower the cooldown of Flicker of the Light by 1. Alright, that must be the next special. Siphon crit damage. Gain a percent of the crit damage equal to the unit's siphon stacks until the end of the encounter. Target loses that much crit damage. Stacking excludes raid bosses and galactic legends. Fair. In addition to the AoE buff Dispel, which is already strong, she uses this ability to steal crit damage on enemies base. And generally speaking, if she's a healer, sapping the crit damage off the enemy means it's harder for them to defeat you, which is really nice. Because I doubt she does loads of damage, but maybe she does. It's probably more about lowering the enemy's outcoming damage. Okay. Special 2, Flicker of the Light. Dispel all debuffs on unaligned Force user allies, and they have their current health percentages equalized. All unaligned Force user allies recover 10% health and protection. So it's kind of similar to what she did before, I believe. You equalize and then you heal. Recover an additional 5% health and protection for each stack of Purge that has been consumed by Inquisitorious allies or resisted by enemies this battle, up to a maximum of 60%. Wow, okay. So a 70%? That's insane. That's gonna just full AoE heal the team, pretty much in all circumstances. Inquisitor Barriss grants 20% of her crit damage stacking to all Inquisitorious allies until the end of battle. Yeah, that's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty. She's gonna do a lot of damage. She's sapping it from the enemy and then giving it out. Yeah, that's gonna get crazy. The thing is like, she's already going to have a base of like 200%. You know, if you've got a crit damage set or a crit damage triangle on her, she'll have like 200% base. So even straight away, she's granted like 40% crit damage. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. She has a leadership as well. Inquisitors gain 20% max health at the start of each of their turns. Cool. They recover 8% health based on her max health. Kind of like her Zeta, I want to say. Zeta on the original Barriss. Whenever an enemy gains a stack of Purge, Inquisitorious allies gain 3 heal over time and gain 3 heal over time for 2 turns. Whenever Purge is resisted or dispelled by the enemy, Inquisitorious allies gain 10% stacking offense for 1 turn. Meh. In 3v3 Grand Arenas, if Grand Inquisitor is not an ally, Inquisitorious allies gain 30% crit chance and 50% crit damage. Okay. Whenever an Inquisitorious ally critically hits an enemy, that enemy gains a stack of Purge. I feel like, you know, the current datacron that we've got for Inquisitors with the 9th Sister. In 3v3, she could be a good leader for 9th Sister, because I don't know who you'd throw in as the last slot, right? But you've got her as a healer, passing out 20% max health and lots of recovery, and she's passing out a load of crit damage and additional offense, and more crit damage. Maybe. Whenever an Inquisitorious ally critically hits the enemy, that enemy gains a stack of Purge, which can't be resisted. Nice. Allied Second Sister is immune to Daze and Stun. Okay, so you put her with Second Sister. And like I said, I'd probably imagine 9th. Whenever Inquisitor Barriss uses an ability, Second Sister assists. This assist will crit if able. Sick. Until the end of each Inquisitor Barriss's turn, reduce the cooldowns of seconds. Wow, that's huge. So yeah, 3v3, Barriss, Second Sister and 9th maybe. The main strength of it is the Purge, but against AoE dispels. Yeah. When the 4th Sister kills the almost surrendered Jedi, Barriss promises the dying Jedi she would not let those who are left behind die. Oh, she's got a unique as well. Reflexive Mercy. Allies and enemies can't be revived. Ooh. Whenever an Inquisitorious ally is critically hit, that ally recovers 10% health and protection, and the enemy gains a stack of Purge. Okay. 9th Sister is... yeah, there you go. 9th Sister. So, told you. Second Sister Inquisitor Barriss have 200% defense and tenacity. Wow. And you get immunity to Daze and Stun. That's huge. Whenever an enemy has any number of buffs dispelled, Inquisitor Barriss gains 10% turn meter. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be a good 3v3 team, guys. I can see it. I can see it happening. And then Patience, which I believe almost all the Inquisitors have. Gain 20% max... oh. If all allies are Inquisitorious, this character gains 20% max health, max protection, and potency. Whenever another ally is critically hit by an enemy, this character has 20% chance to gain 100% turn meter. That's like B2. Whenever an Inquisitorious ally damages an enemy with Purge, this character assists. Whenever Purge is consumed or dispelled on an enemy, this character gains 3% turn meter. Yeah, it's good. Oh, have they forgotten about... Where is... I'm not going crazy, am I? Where's Asajj? Did they forget about Asajj? I think they forgot about Asajj. Unless it's afterwards. Okay. I think they just forgot about Asajj, because Darth Vader should be last, right? I'm just going to skip through. I want to see if Asajj is here. And Yoda and Chewie. Oh no, comes later. I think the order is messed up, that's all. We got so much to go through still, guys. Okay, we've done Inquisitor Barriss. Alright. Rounding out the end of the anniversary, Darth Vader, Duel's End. He will be the last character. He's an attacker, Sith, and Empire. Darth Vader is one of the most iconic villains in the galaxy. When we saw his new side to him in Obi-Wan show, it was an opportunity for a new Darth Vader character that we simply couldn't pass up. Our squad vision for this character after the era concludes is for him to empower the Empire squad led by his new master, Emperor Palpatine. Other members of his squad in 5e Finder include Mara Jade, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Royal Guard. Why would you take Grand Moff Tarkin? That's taking away people that don't have Lord Vader with the Never mind. It's okay. It's okay. I'll let it slide. And Royal Guard. I was expecting this to be Thrawn, truth be told. I was expecting Thrawn. Maybe Piet. Darth Vader's Duel End marquee begins January 27th at 11 AM Pacific. Basic ability. Then you will die. Deal physical damage to the target enemy during Darth Vader's turn, ability block them, and inflict evasion down for 2 turns. If the target enemy is dazed, shocked, or stunned, reduce Vader's cooldowns by 1, and he gains 100% offense for 1 turn. That's awesome. Special 1. Your weakness still remains. Deal physical damage to the target enemy twice and call the strongest other attacker ally to assist. If the target enemy is Galactic Republic, Inquisitorius, or Jedi, Darth Vader Duel End also assists. This ability will always crit if possible. This impactful strike will always critically hit, providing a chance to deal damage up to 4 times, including 2 assists, against certain characters. Targets dazed, shocked, or stunned enemies trigger additional benefits. With Mara Jade as an ally, the assist results in extra ways to daze opponents. This in turn strengthens Vader when he uses, then you will die against them. Yeah. Cool. I like it. During the duel, Vader does a double pirouette attack, swinging hard at Kenobi. This is one of the coolest moments of the battle, if you ask me. You will always lose. Didn't I say this in my video earlier today that this ability will feature? It's like the earthquake that he does, right? Dispel all buffs on all enemies and deal physical damage to them, dealing 50% more damage for each debuffed enemy. That's gonna hit hard. That's gonna hit hard. Yep, that can do 250% more damage. That's just like if you normally do 100,000 damage. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. Alright, if the enemy is shocked or stunned, they take another instance of damage. Then inflict all enemies with speed down for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or evaded or prevented. They lose 100% accuracy for a turn, which can't be evaded. Enemies are inflicted with buff immunity for 2 turns, cannot be resisted. Wow. And he's got Grand Arena Omicrons. If Palpatine is the allied leader slot, fracture target enemy and grant another enemy until the start of Darth Vader Duel End's next turn or until Vader is defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, or evaded. So hang on, it fractures the target enemy and another random enemy unit. So it's 2 enemies get fractured. Wow. This ability clears the enemy buffs and potential to inflict large amounts of area effect damage, especially against debuffed enemies. In Grand Arenas with Emperor Palpatine and the leader, it also inflicts fracture, stopping up 2 enemies in their tracks. In 3v3, that's going to be wild, because you could stop half the team, 2/3 of the team from playing. This ability recreates one of the most devastating moves in Vader's duel with Obi-Wan, fracturing the battleground and leading to the battle into its crescendo. Yup. 2 enemies lose their buffs before or after the damage is dealt. Buffs are dispelled before damage is dealt, optimizing damage output. Does this ability deal 50% extra damage per debuff? No. Calculates the number of enemies, yeah, so... Okay, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I am what remains, Omicron. So he's a double Omicron character. At the start of battle, Darth Vader Duel's End loses 51% of health and is inflicted with burning until the end of battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Vader can't be defeated by this burning, is immune to other burning effects, and takes reduced damage from percentile health effects. At the start of battle, if there are no galactic legends, whenever Vader takes burning damage, all Empire allies gain 20% offense, stacking to a maximum of 300% until the end of battle and 10% turn meter. This effect persists through defeat. If Vader ends his turn with 25% or more health, all Empire allies gain potency up for 1 turn. If Vader ends his turn with 75% or less health, all Empire allies gain defense up for 1 turn. At the start of battle, if Palpatine is in the leader slot, Vader gains hatred until he is defeated. That's the revive mechanic from Scion, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and assists whenever Emperor Palpatine... fuck me. And assists when Emperor Palpatine uses a special ability during his turn, and whenever Emperor Palpatine assists during another ally's turn. So like when Mara Jade does a special and calls Palpatine to assist, Vader is then going to assist on top of it. If Vader is revived with Emperor Palpatine while Emperor Palpatine is active in the leader slot, Vader gains hatred at the end of the turn, which can become... Wow. So he can constantly get hatred? He can't die as long as Palpatine's alive. That's kind of wild. I mean, obviously you can do a permanent kill like like Disintegrate or Annihilate or something like that. While in Grand Arenas, at the start of battle, if there are no galactic legends and Palpatine is in the lead slot, all Empire allies gain hatred until they are defeated. Whenever an Empire tank loses taunt, they are marked for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted, and recover 30% max health and protection. Vader gains 4 speed, stacking to a maximum of 80 until the end of battle. Whenever an Empire ally targets a debuffed enemy with an ability, takes damage from that ability whilst debuffed and scores a critical hit. Okay, so the burning aspect is interesting. My only concern with the burning aspect is that it's going to cost you banners in GAC because he's constantly taking damage. But I suppose if you're doing debuffs, you'll also heal up that damage, so could be okay. You'll have to probably mod him more for protection rather than health. Unique 2, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. At the start of the encounter, whenever he takes burning damage or when he uses an ability, Vader Duel's End gains 1 stack of Vengeance, new, until the end of battle or until he is defeated. Whenever Vader loses 15 stacks of Vengeance, he gains 2 additional bonus turns, 2. And the next time he damages an enemy, the target's enemy is death marked until the end of Vader's bonus turn or Vader is defeated. Vader can ignore taunt effects during his turn. That's great. Whenever Vader uses a special ability, the target's inflicted with a stack of damage over time. Guys, I went through so much of this in my speculation video earlier today. I said he's going to have ability blocks, said he's going to have buff immunity, said he's going to have dots, said he's going to have bonus turns, said he's going to have that ground and pound 2 thingy with the shock stuff. I nailed this kit. I mean, you can all say it was obvious these things were going to be there, but I don't care. Anyway, where was I? The ability inflicts an additional stack if the target and its enemy is Galactic Republic, Inquisitor, or Jedi. Add another additional stack if it is an Anakin. If it's Anakin Skywalker, that's quite humorous. So he's because he killed Anakin Skywalker, right? At the start of battle, if there is an enemy Anakin Skywalker, they are inflicted with Demoralized. Okay, 50% less damage for the rest of the battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or prevented, or resisted. And if they are in the enemy leader slot, all Empire allies are immune to daze for the rest of battle, and Vader can't be targeted while there is another Empire ally. That's a lot, bro. That is a lot. He's a really strong lifter. Okay, so he can't be targeted. Immunity to daze. Loads and loads of buffs, loads of debuffs, death mark. If all allies are Empire at the start of battle, Vader gains 50% crit damage and is immune to fear and turn meter reduction. I also said this could be a thing, because it's a feature of Darth Vader and Lord Vader. Wow. Alright, so Darth Vader is going to be insane. Next up, we've got Yoda and Chewbacca. They will be ferociously releasing 3rd in the era of the anniversary, took heavy inspiration from the iconic scene in the Battle of Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith, where they get to see the bond between Yoda and Chewbacca, as Chewie helps Yoda escape Kashyyyk after Order 66 has been declared. Yoda synergy with any Wookiee, but works best with Tarful, Zalbar, Clone Wars Chewer, and Fett Smuggling Chewbacca. Okay, fine. December 16th, basic ability. May the Force be with you. Really? Oh my god. CG, you're punning me right now. Seriously? Deal special damage to the target enemy 3 times. Yoda and Chewie gain speed up. That's a lot. Okay. Special 1 ability, one with the Force. Oh my god, really? Are they all gonna be puns? Meathead, are they all puns? All Wookiee allies recover 20% health and protection. Hang on, what was his tags? Support, Galactic Republic, Jedi, and Wookiee. Okay, great. I was wondering if he was getting the Jedi tag. If Tarful was in the leader slot at the start of battle, all Wookiee support allies gain Frenzy for 1 turn, which can't be copied or dispelled. Nice. We wanted an ability that's simple but effective and really packs a punch. Yoda providing the support-like recovery and foresight in true Jedi fashion, and Chewbacca granting frenzy and support to Wookiees, a frenzy to support Wookiees to get in more turns to get the upper hand in battle. Tarful lead for this squad will have an immediate benefit. You'll see the common theme with foresight playing into other aspects of the kit. Who are the current Wookiee support characters that take advantage of this ability? Yoda and Chewie and Tarful. Okay. That's still good. The Force Awakens. Oh my lord. CG. CG. Dispel all buffs on all enemies and deal special damage to them. Distract the target enemy for 1 turn. If Tarful was in the ally leader slot at the start of battle, Yoda and Chewie assist, dealing 55% less damage, and all Wookiee allies gain advantage for 2 turns. Nice. That's cool. What does Distract do again? Can't gain bonus turn meter. Unique 1. The Force is my ally. At the start of each encounter, Wookiee allies gain foresight for 2 turns. If all allies were Wookiees at the start of battle, Yoda and Chewie gain Master's Training. That's good. 25% additional stats, basically doubled to 50% because he is a Jedi. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, all that ally gains 5% turn meter. Whenever an ally gains foresight, they gain 10% offense, stacking to a maximum of 100%. They're going to gain a lot of foresight as well, until the end of battle. And 5% turn meter whenever foresight expires on an ally, inflict a stack of off balance on the random enemy who didn't already have it for 1 turn. While in Grand Arena, if there are no Galactic Legend enemies, Wookiee allies gain 25 speed and 40% crit damage. If all allies were Wookiees, oh here we go, all allies gain Master's Training. Nice. Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, they inflict the target enemy with a sec of damage over time. Nice. Whenever an ally gains foresight, they also gain Retribution for 2 turns, and whenever foresight expires, remove 5% turn meter from all enemies. There is so much in this unique. Wow. The first time each ally defeats an enemy, inflict all enemies with fear for 1 turn, and all allies gain foresight for 1 turn, which means more turn meter and more offense. The start of each of Yoda and Chewie's turn, inflict all enemies with vulnerable, so guaranteed crits. Wow, whenever Yoda and Chewie use a special ability while they have foresight, they trigger all stacks of dots on all enemies and inflict disarm on the target enemy for 2 turns, or until Yoda and Chewie are defeated, and remove it from all enemies. That's so much, dude. That's a lot. That is a lot going on there. Next up, Asajj. I'm kind of interested for this one, because she's going to be lifting Boba Fett Signer Django. She is still getting the Night Sister tag and the Ufu tag. 4th Marquee. Brand new look based on her appearance in the Dark Disciple novel. Bounty Hunter version of Ventress had her allying with a maverick Jedi, Quinlan Vos. That Jedi is not yet. In Galaxy of Heroes, we couldn't pass up on the opportunity to get this version of Asajj into the game. After the era ends, she will find a home with Old Man Boba Fett, Signer Django, and Fennec Shand. We envision her squad being rounded out with the 2 newest bounty hunters, Forlom and Zuckuss. This squad will help Boba Fett, Signer Django, dominate in territory wars, putting the sights on more than 1 galactic legend in their mode. I had a feeling territory war might come up, you know? I had a feeling. Asajj Ventress Dark Disciples era marquee begins in December 30th. Basic, Swift Strikes. Deal physical damage to the target enemy. If that enemy was debuffed, attack again, which they quite often will be debuffed. During Asajj Ventress's turn, gain 7% turn meter, inflict tenacity down on the target enemy for 1 turn. Otherwise gain 12% turn meter and retaliate for 1 turn. I'm assuming that means if it's not her turn. If it's not her turn, she gains more turn meter and retaliate. Okay. Keeping the enemy defense is beneficial. When attacking out of turn, she gains retaliate, which makes, yeah, so when it's not her turn, makes her damaging become more troublesome. Running around the assistant counter-attacking character uses the basic ability which wear this text. Okay. Special 1. Come back to me. Deal physical damage to all enemies and inflict armor shred on the target enemy until the end of the encounter. Ventress and target bounty hunter ally gain defense pen up for 2 turns, sorry. And the first time this ability is used, grant the target non-galactic legend bounty hunter ally disciple until the end of battle. Okay. 15 speed and immune to ability blocks. That's really good. What's the cooldown on that? We don't have the cooldown for it right now. Oh, but it's only the first time it's used. Okay. So you can give one character an immunity to ability block. Alright, yeah. Where you select an ally to be your disciple, together you work to defeat the enemy. This special is mainly used to apply disciple, but it also provides other bonuses such as defense pen up. Yeah. Special 2, Know Your Place. Asajj deals physical damage to the target enemy, inflicts vulnerable on them for 2 turns, and stuns them for 1 turn. That's a lot. If there is an active ally with Disciple, stun them for 2 turns instead. Huge. Dispel all debuffs on her and all allies with Disciple, and they gain 10% crit damage, stacking to 100% until the end of the encounter for each debuff dispelled this way. Well, Fennec will be putting, I can't remember what it's called. When she uses her special, she puts a debuff on your team. So this will cleanse that off. Call all other allies with Disciple to assist, which is only going to be 1 person. Once you put Disciple on the field, the special allows both Disciple and Ventress to stack crit damage by dispelling debuffs. Allows you to call your Disciples to assist. Yeah. Leader, Selfless Act. At the start of battle, Bounty Hunter allies gain crit chance up and offense up for 2 turns. If all allies are Bounty Hunters, whenever an enemy begins their turn with more than 5 debuffs, they are dazed. That's kind of cool. Whenever Ventress is in the leader slot and not in the ally slot, she gains a contract. Yeah. While an ally with Disciple is active, attack out of turn. While an ally with Disciple is active, attack out of turn 10 times. That seems pretty easy. Because she gains retribution all the time, right? All Bounty Hunter allies 50% defense pen. Whenever a Bounty Hunter ally revives, they gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Okay. And her payout, she is going to get 100% crit damage. If an ally with Disciple has a stack of momentum, grant 10 stacks of momentum to that ally until the end of the encounter. Useful with Boba Fett. Allies with Disciple gain 100% turn meter. Yeah. Unique, Train Under Me. Asajj Ventress, Dark Disciple has 75% max health, max protection, and 20% offense. That's a lot. At the start of battle, if the ally in the leader slot is Boba Fett, Sign of Django, and there are no tank allies, Bounty Hunter allies gain bonus protection 300% until the end of the encounter. That is wild. Whenever an ally with Disciple is damaged, Ventress gains 10% offense, stacking to a maximum of 50% until the next time she uses her basic ability on her turn. Whenever Ventress starts her turn, allies with Disciple gain 10% turn meter. Whenever an ally with Disciple starts their turn, inflict evasion down on all enemies for 1 turn, which can't be resisted, and Ventress gains 10% turn meter. There's a lot of turn meter generation here. Whenever an ally with Disciple uses a special ability, inflict the enemy with protection disruption for 1 turn, which can't be evaded, and Ventress assists. Whenever an ally with Disciple uses their special ability on their turn, 4 turns in a row, they gain 100% offense until the end of the encounter. That's insane. Whenever an ally with Disciple uses their special ability on their turn, 4 times in a row. So you're talking about Boba Fett, Sign of Django using the same special 4 turns in a row, gain 100% offense, and their next ability on their turn inflicts vulnerable to the target enemy which can't be dispelled. When she uses her Disciple, makes them immune to ability block, so Boba Fett, Sign of Django does an ability block himself for using the special 3 times. I get it now. I'm stupid. I'm slow. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, this is a good lifter for Boba Fett. When in Grand Arena... Give me a lifter for Boba Fett in Grand Arena, please. All Bounty Hunter allies gain 50% max health and potency. All other non-galactic legend and non-tank Bounty Hunter allies gain Disciple until the end of battle. So everybody is going to be getting Disciple. except for tanks, so you just don't take a tank. Whenever Ventress or allies with Disciple are dazed, dispel it and gain 50% turn meter. Whenever Ventress gains bonus turn meter, she gains 5% offense, stacking up to 150% until the end of the encounter. Ventress and allies with Disciple are immune to turn meter reduction. Whenever enemies attack out of turn, allies with Disciple and Ventress recover 5% health and protection. Okay, so lots of survivability in this team. Yeah, just immediately out the gate, giving all that, giving Disciple to the whole team, loads of max health and potency, immunity, essentially, to dazed. It's wild. So in 3v3, I can see this being a very powerful team. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is nearly an hour long, that video. I definitely feel like that's too much info to take in. Apologies, I'll try and summarize these kits individually on individual videos later. Really excited for Vader. Really excited for Vader. Like the look of Asajj. Those are my two big picks, I think. Shame we're not getting a look into Maul's kit as well, but I think we can wait for that one. Amazing. I want to know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Hit me up on the blower. See you later, guys. Love you.